35 seconds to go. So we've got a couple of boats down here at the pin end, but the vast majority appears to be towards the starboard end. So this is where you want to stake your place and your gap to leeward. That space to the left of you, which is critical. 13 seconds here. Coming down. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and gun. There we go. Looks like all clear, for, at least from our perspective. And Mexico takes the pin end. They just luffed their way around. That was quite the move, with 115 Bob being steered by Everett Sliper. There's also a Thistle Sailor, came back from the Thistle Nationals very recently. So there's the fleet off the line. 713, probably should think about tacking at this point. Got some bad air coming from both 115 and Mexico 1. Nice start further up the line with 338. Very nice start. They got a good gap to leeward. They're able to sail straight in a straight line. And the same can be said of Paul Stevens' team on C656. They found a good space. They have good space to the left of them, and they're able to get going. So, key thing is to keep the boat at a constant angle of heel in these puffs. Just keep it, pick an angle of heel and go with it. Keep the boat level. Mexico 1, the leftmost boat here. They've got 4 crew on the rail, sailing the boat pretty flat. And behind them is 353. They just took a duck of 779. You want to really, you want to duck early. You can see the distance they lost there on 353. And you want to duck early so that you can end up tight on the backside on the crossing. 919 just tacked to leeward. 656 Paul Stevens' team is punched out in the middle. They appear to be on the closest tack to the mark. So the whole group is lifted right now, and they're going well. So you've just got to anticipate these puffs. Hike, do a little feather. You know, make sure you cool the puffs down. Mexico's got a little bit too much backwind. It could be that they need a bit more aft lower for the given backstay. Sometimes when you put the backstay on. Now here's a ducking situation. We slow down for a moment. 919, oh, went behind. And here's a tack by 906. So that's sort of a tack to pin, if you like, because they're up near port ley line. You're starting to think about how you're going to round. This left side is definitely paid on this beat. So, 4 crew on Mexico there. They're going fast. Could be they just need a bit more half lower tension. Sometimes when you backwind the main a lot, it's because of, you know, you put the backstay on and you don't have enough half lower to keep the main in form shape. Just a touch too much heel on Glenn's team. I'd like to see the boat flatter than that on 926. They're going well, but they just got a little bit too much heel for my liking. Again, you want to sail the boat consistently level. And we got 906s roaring in here on port ley line, overstood. That's Lyle Mayer's team. And it looks like Paul Stevens' team will be in the lead. They were the first to get in phase, tack on the port, and it looks like they'll be rounding first on starboard. So a couple of close crossings coming here. We can slow down. Great, so here's the rounding. So no offsets tonight. You want to get the boat turned down to the proper angle. And there goes the set on Aquila. Nice set. That's a practice crew. Mexico round second with Jorge and his team. They sailed a nice leg, and then you've got Bob in third with veteran Shannon Clune in the middle there. Shannon's been sailing these boats a long time. Good set there, but nice job on 60 grit to get turned down. They turn down inside everybody. It looks like the other jibe is favored, so you can, if you can get on the other jibe, that's going to be the way to go. You can see that starboard is lifted. Throw a jibe in onto port and get that inside position. So good opportunity for teams here. 314 just wants to bear off. Here you can see port jibe is heavily favored right now. So it really was a set jibe. Excuse me. Sometimes what we'll do, if we know that we've got to get onto port jibe quickly, is we'll set the spinnaker without a pole, hoist it, jibe, free fly it, and then put the pole on later, and that just gets you on port jibe very quickly. Paul Stevens' team wins the race. Glenn Hughes' team, they did a nice job turning the boat down and jibing inside to take second. And may have caught them at the wrong time, but that pole's a little bit on the high side. You can tell it's too high. It tends to collapse too low on the shoulder. So maybe they've seen that. You want the sail to collapse evenly up the luff. You know, you're going up the weather leg and you're thinking that final third of the leg up to the mark is, what's the last shift here? You know, are we lifted on starboard coming in which case they were, Paul Stevens' group was. So the implication was the other jibe would be favored, get onto port jibe. If you were lifted on port tack coming into the mark, indicating the wind is shifting to the left, then the advice then would best be to do a barroway set and stay on starboard jibe. You're on the headed jibe at that point. And so just as a team, you want to try and think ahead, what phase is the wind in, so that you can finish, you can immediately get onto the correct jibe at the start of the beat. Now of course with gate marks, which we're going to have tomorrow, they have additional considerations. You want to, there's two marks to round, and they excuse me, they both have zones. So you have to ask yourself, okay, which mark is going to take me to the favored side of the course? Which mark is further upwind? And also, which mark is got the least number of boats, the least density, so that we can round and clear air? The thing I've learned is with gate marks, it's don't be wishy-washy. Fight for the inside of the gate mark. And you know, so if you're thinking of left gate looking downwind, work to the left of your competition. If you're thinking of the right gate or right turn looking downwind, work to the right of your competition. And that way you've got inside position, you know, for when you come down. And that's the idea. So the leeward mark and Glenn Hughes' team on 60 grit has fought for the inside for this port rounding. Here's the mark to the left here. They need to, now if you're inside boat, the trick is get the chute down before the outside boat. And frankly, if you're outside boat, you want to douse before the inside boat. In both instances, you want to do an early takedown. Why? So that you can round in single file. What you don't want to do as an outside boat is round outside somebody. So there's the rounding. Good takedown by Glenn's group. Paul's as well. But he grabbed the inside. And, you know, so if you're outside boat, do an early drop. You can slow down, round behind your competitor. You don't want to round outside. If you round outside, you'll have no option to tack, and you'll be in bad air. You'll be down the ladder rung. You always run around behind somebody in single file, or preferably do a better rounding than they do. But definitely 926 has done a very nice job here. Mike Tieman's group just tacked on the starboard. They called starboard on, I believe, on Team Mexico. We missed that one. You know, the thing about tacking here, problem with tacking is you run into the spinnakers. So now suddenly you're contending with bad air. So, you know, very often what we'll do is we'll extend a little bit away from the buoy, and then we'll tack in a clean space away from the chutes. The bigger the fleet is, the more important clear air is at having a lane. So here's the roundings. Get that chute down, up to close hold, and the key thing obviously is to get weight on the rail as soon as you can. Try and do your cleanup from the high side. So obviously it's a critical time at that point. I think it's 783. So the main's a little bit deep. A little deep. I'd like to see a bit more backstay. Put some more backstay on. Just flatten out the middle part of the mainsail. And that will just flatten things out. You see the depth in the lower part of the main, the middle part of the mainsail. It's just like to see more backstay here. That would straighten the forestay as well. And the byproduct of straightening the forestay is it gives you a cleaner exit off the Genoa and a lot less backwind on the sail. See, the main's not only full, but it's backwinding as well. So we'd like to see more backstay, more aft lower, probably more outhaul as well, to be honest. Flatten the whole thing out and give yourself a cleaner exit with the tighter head stay. So they're dropping the traveler down, which is fine. The only, you know, looks like they're playing the travel, but you basically want to play what's going to keep the boat level in the gust. If the fierce puff will ease the main sheet. That's how you unload the boat the most effectively. If the building puff will go traveler. You know, so whatever keeps you level, you want to keep the top of your mast steady, and you're striving for a constant angle of heel. Now, just like to see that travel up a bit occasionally, because it's robbing us of pointing. I think they're thinking of tacking. I feel like the main sheet's on a little bit tight. They're trimmed on very hard. You can see there's a lot of stall on the top batten. You want that top batten flying at least 40% of the time. You know, if it's stalled 100%, you're going to be high and slow. And that's actually what I'm witnessing right now. So I'd like to see the main sheet just a little bit eased to allow the telltale to fly on the top batten. Probably get more backstay as well. You can see the main is just rammed on too hard. Coming upwind here on starboard, they got 908 on port, just crossing, I believe. Kevin Dickey's group. Yeah, they just crossed by the hair of their chinny chin chin. But main's too active. We are, you know, if the main's very active, you need to usually pull on a bit more backstay just to flatten it out. Russell Peterson's team. That looks like a nice trim there. Very even profiles on the leeches. Nice job with Russell's team there. Here comes the weather mark. Here's a set. Very nice set here on 906. Just got to pull up, pull back, and ease that sheet out. But they, boy, did they hoist it fast. The 908 aggressive on the halyard too. It's not quite all the way up. So much more aggressive sets the second time around. Good to see that. Got a creamsicle here. This was Jeff Kerr's old boat. Jeff was president of Santana 20 class in the mid-90s.
Go downwind more.
And she's now sailing in the Eugene fleet. Great to see it. Trim looks good. Same leech profiles or similar. So 906. They did a beautiful set. They just needed to ease the sheet. It's nice to have the sheet cleated, so do a set and then cleat the spinnaker sheet for where it is. That way it's not over trimmed when you do the hoist. Eyes back now, looking for puffs. Going downwind here, Kevin Dickey's team. Rayan Hughes trimming. I'd like to see the main out further. Like to see ease that main. You can see Lyle's team's got the main a little eased out more. You're looking for more projection. That's better. It's almost like they listened, or maybe Rayan said something, but that looks much better to me. More projection. And then critique the vang. The top batten parallel to the boom. Juice box. That's it. You know, you want to maybe pole tip up a touch. Collapsing maybe a little up high. If you see it collapse on the high shoulder, just burp the pole up slightly. You want it collapsing evenly on the curl. Otherwise good. Nice look. 784 here coming downwind. Like to see that pole stabilize more. You see there's too much latitude in it. So make sure that pole is firmly down and probably too high. See how the top of the spinnaker is unstable. So like to lower that pole down. And here's 338. Like that look. They've got a nice vertical profile on the spinnaker. Pole squared back. Nice projection. Got a little bit of... That looks good. Nice vertical profile on the spinnaker. That's what you're looking for. And then you're looking for the tip of the top batten to be parallel to the boom as regards bang tension. But when you've got your pole height right, it looks like that. Take a look at their spinnaker. Nice vertical profile, straight up and down. If the pole's too high, you'll notice the top of the spinnaker is very unstable. If the pole's too low, you'll see it tend to collapse up high as well and not project out properly. So very nice trim here, very good vertical profile on Ron's team, and I think on Creamsicle's team as well on 338. The boat starts to roll, i.e. in more wind. What we'll do is we'll just over trim the sheet some. That dampens the rolling. Mark, Kevin Dickey's team and Lyle Mayer's team coming in. Again, if you're outside boat, get that chute down and slow the boat down. You don't want to round outside. You want to try and round behind and even cut inside if you can do a better rounding. That's obviously preferable. So you see 908 here is going to break the cardinal rule. They're rounding outside. If you're on the inside and you've got a negotiated overlap, no sense doing a late takedown either. Take the chute down early and execute a good rounding. The only time we'll do a late takedown is if we feel that we're going to make a big gain. Maybe it's lighter, for instance, or if somebody just stops well shy of the 3-length zone, then we'll do a later drop and see if we can get overlap. But otherwise, an early drop is in the interest of both the inside and the outside boats. And with gates, with gate marks, you want to take the pole down early. That gives you the option to then free fly and jibe and go to the other gate if you need to. If you want to make a late decision, go to the other gate. Maybe the gate that you chose, got very trafficky. You could jibe, go to the other gate with no boats, and make huge gains. So what we'll do is, if we're opportunistic, we'll raise the Genoa, take the pole down, free fly it, and then size up the options. And obviously a late takedown on 338 here.